I'm here with Joe, Ben, and Chris Kemp. Now, Joe, the donut bank seemed to have been a fixture in the community for a long time now. When was the first one built, and where was it located?
The first one was built in 1967, 42 years ago, and it was on South First Avenue, just across the Pigeon Creek Bridge.
Now, Ben, I understand you're not the original owner. Who was?
Like Joe alluded earlier, our dad started it back in '67. I was 6 months old. I don't think Joe was even born yet. And how old?
I was 7.
You were 7. So we were raised in the business through our whole life. We went in early, even before school. We'd, like Chris said earlier, we would beg to run the route with Dad, and we would never make it, beyond the first stop because we were already crashed out in the van. So, but we had our own whites back then, and it was really neat.
Now, has it always been a family-owned business?
It's always, yeah. Dad was the founder. He started it. He was a bread man earlier, and said he wanted to get in the donut business. Everybody thought he was crazy, but he's done well.
Chris, looking around the dining room, I see a lot of updates in technology. How different does the store look now compared to when it first opened?
Oh my gosh, it's a complete evolution. When we first opened up, we had what was like an old-style coffee bar. We had bar stools and U-shaped counters, but that's how coffee shops were 40 years ago. Today, now we have nice tables, we have computer stations, we have Wi-Fi. Yeah, a lot has changed.
How many locations are there, and are they all in Evansville?
Well, we have 6 locations in Evansville. We have one in Newburgh and a new one that we've just opened up in Princeton. So 8 local.
With your new store in Princeton, do you have to ship a lot of items there daily?
Well, we have a truck goes up there probably 3 times a day. All of our cakes, our bagels, a lot of our cookies are all made here at the Diamond Avenue store. This is where we have all the advanced size ovens. However, we are going to start making donuts up in Princeton next week. So we have that location completely outfitted with equipment. So we're ready to start making donuts up there. We make donuts at almost every one of our locations, by the way. A lot of people think that we make everything at Diamond Avenue and just truck them out. But if you show up at St. Joe Avenue tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., you'll smell donuts being made.
So I hear that you recently received an award from Saveur Magazine for having one of the best donuts in the country.
That's correct. We got nominated by someone turned their name in, and they called Chris and asked him to overnight some donuts to New York. And we sent him a bunch of product, and they really liked it. And out of hundreds of different donuts that they tasted, they voted us in the top 12. So we're very honored and thrilled that we even got that kind of recognition.
What makes your product stand out against your competitors?
I would have to think something that Dad brought us up with, and that's a commitment to quality. Doing things right, not necessarily the easiest way to do things. Just like, for instance, the process that we go through on setting up our doughs. We don't use automated machinery. Our coffee lines, I believe, are second to none. Clean stores, just a great environment for people to come in, and hopefully at a fair price that people will come back and remember us.
Now I'm back at the bakery at the Diamond Avenue location, joined by Ben and Joe Kemp. Ben, about what time do you start making donuts?
Here at the bakery at the Diamond Avenue location, we start at 9 p.m. Our wholesale route has to be out by 3 a.m. So we have 3 trucks hitting the road at 3. In our retail location, we start out at 1 o'clock. And those guys are responsible pretty well for their own retail location for donuts.
Now, are there any specialty items made here that you can't find anywhere else?
Aside from our seasonal items that we have, our Springerlies, our Christmas cookies, our butter cookies that we run are really hard to find anywhere else. And the way we mix things, just the way things are made the old-fashioned way. That alone sets us aside from a lot of places.
Joe, are there any new items in the works?
Yes, currently we are working on developing 0 grams trans fats. So we're trying to develop that. We got a little ways to go yet. However, also we're putting on the front burner a sugar-free items for diabetics. But yeah, those two things we were really working on.
With all the baking being done, you guys must go through a lot of ingredients.
We do go through quite a bit of ingredients. Actually, Ben and I were just kind of figuring it up a while ago. Just our yeast-raised donut mix alone, we go through about 8,500 pounds a week. I mean, you can see our supplies. What looks like a lot goes pretty quick. Especially if it has to do with flour and sugar.
My crew and I have had a great time here at the Donut Bank. Thanks once again to the Kemp brothers for their hospitality. For the EVSC Community Link, I'm Dustin Knapp.